What is up? Hello, everybody, and welcome to show number 49. 49. That's a good question, Shadow Ops. Amy's in Tennessee right now. She doesn't know if I'm behaving, but I am. I'm not doing nothing bad. So guys, in front of us today, but before we get to that, let's say hi to all the people. Mike SSI, Nathaniel Pulling, Mr. George Watts, my lovely wife Amy, Alan Gentry, Farmerman, good to see you, good to have you back. MS Aviation, Brian Chambers, Ron for the Hills Mining, Shadow Ops, Ken Sprouse, Mr. Vance Farley. How you doing, man? We'll give old Vance a wrench. He seems to be like an alright guy, even though he's got that funky last name. F you, Kenny. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming by. I don't think you'll be stuck. It's supposed to be sunny tomorrow. Matt M, good to see you. Good to see you. Hope you're ready for tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, next week. Next Monday, as you guys all know, next Monday is the December edition of the cat's got to come up here and rub the plane. It's a new one. He's got to put his smell on it. Hey. See, this is the time when I need to have a battery in it. Stop it, ding dong. When I need to put a battery in the plane and wait for him to stick his face inside the exhaust nozzle. What a weirdo. Yeah. I've done it to him before, George, and that's exactly what happens. He about hits the ceiling. That's right, Ken. So guys, this one in front of me, obviously it's the 90mm Freewing F-15C. At the Mary Boozer fly-in, the day before, or not the day before, but not long before I went down to Florida, I was in a, you weird cat. I was in a live show that Ryan was doing. And, Wesley had said something about, you know, that he really wanted the P-51 Mustang from E-Flight. So I decided, like, hey, yeah, I really don't fly my P-51 that much. It's kind of a handful on the ground, and, you know, as much as I love flying it, it's kind of a pain in the butt for me. I mean, I'm not the best pilot in the world, and that plane is just a handful. The ground handling is something fierce, and it's $500 worth of airplane that I didn't necessarily want to crack and do any more damage to. So I brought that P-51 down to Florida, and Wesley and I did a even Steven swap, where this is an F-15 that he has had for a while, and he doesn't fly this F-15 very much, so kind of the same situation. It's a plane that we loved. You know, I love that P-51, but I just don't fly it that much. And, you know, Wesley loved this F-15, but he just doesn't fly it that much. You know, so it was a mutual agreement, you know, that Wesley is going to get a lot more enjoyment out of that P-51 than I ever will, and I'm going to get a lot more enjoyment out of this F-15 than Wesley ever will. So, you know, it was a good trade, at least in my opinion. I love the F-15. Wesley loves the P-51, and we both got something awesome out of the deal. Hold on, I gotta beat my animals. You know, Shadow, that P-51, that E-flite P-51, I know a lot of people give it crap about the blue. I think that P-51 is a beautiful plane, and anybody who has one of those P-51s that feels the same way I do, I mean, you know that's a pretty fair trade. I mean, that P-51 is amazing. And I just put up a video of him flying that P-51. I mean, and he was smoking it, man. So I'm glad that Wesley got that P-51. I couldn't have picked a better home for it, where he's really going to enjoy it. And I really can't wait to put this thing in the air. Now, there is going to be some hold time before I get this thing in the air. One of the things that I will absolutely be doing, this thing comes with a pretty, let's call it a slouch of a motor. Hey, what's up, Dustin? So I'll call it a slouch of a motor. I think it's got a 1550 kV 12 blade outrunner on this F-15, which just doesn't, I mean, will it fly? Yeah, it'll fly. Is it the best flying bird that Freewing's ever made? Not so much. So now that they have come out with a couple of different variations of end runners that people have been putting on these things, I think they have like an 1853 kV, something odd like that, 12 blade end runner that they did in a couple of their high performance planes, and then they switched that up, and that one was with a metal housing like we're used to seeing with Freewing 90 millimeters. And then they came out with their 1900 kV end runner high performance motor with a plastic housing, so you save a little weight, and it's a 9-blade setup, so you kind of get that high speed. You know, that 9-blade is kind of that nice mix between, you know, the old, like, horrible sounding 6-blade setups, which were really efficient, and the really great sounding 12-blade setups, which were kind of inefficient. That 9-blade median there that Freewing has kind of settled on, I think is, at least in my opinion, gives you a good sound and good performance. And that 1900 kV, I think, is really going to wake this model up and make it where I don't have to realize the doggy performance that a lot of people criticized with the stock setup. So I'm really looking forward to flying it. But like I said, I am going to do the that 1900 kV high performance end runner before I try to put it in the air. Jackson RC Aviation, hello, sir. Oh, George Watts, that F-14 is nice, man. That F-14 is really nice. That's probably the best looking, you know, sweep wing stock plane that I have seen ever. I mean, it's just awesome. Awesome. Yep, so that is the Freewing F-15 90mm Bad Dog, and it is going to be taking the place now. As some of you guys know, I've said it before, and you know, it's worth repeating. I grew up, at least the years that I remember, I grew up in Anchorage, Alaska, from age 3 to age 9, you know, so a lot of the years that I remember of my childhood were spent at Elmendorf Air Force Base in the, you know, late 70s and early 80s, in the height of the Cold War, and I lived, you know, within a couple of 100 yards of the end of the flight line at Elmendorf Air Force Base, and we used to have these F-15s, you know, taking off all the time. This is the plane that sparked my love for aviation, you know, back in Lord knows when, 1980. Gosh, 40 years ago. It's amazing to me that these planes were flying, I mean, long before 40 years ago. You know, this is a 50, 60-year-old airframe at this point. And, you know, the records that this plane broke, the F-15, just, you know, the history of the F-15 as an airframe, you know, the F-15 holds a special place in my memory of what really sparked my love for aviation, and I'm proud to have it now. And as much as I love the F-22, you know, my two favorite jets are the F-15 and the F-18. So the F-15, or the F-15 will be taking the place on the wall behind me, taking the place of the F-22, and the F-22 will be taking its rightful new home over here. So I'll be surrounded by all these awesome Freewing jets. And, you know, I hope to be adding an L-39 at some point. I've got an 80mm power system that I want to put in an L-39, because I really like the L-39 too. So we're just going to have, you know, a big wall of Freewing goodness. All right, I'm just looking back in the chat. Gonna say hi to a few more folks. Carlos, Jackson RC, good to see you tonight. Jeff Toohey, good to see you. Victor Shamulus, Joe Habib, Mr. Darrell from South Georgia, how you doing? Yes, this baby does look bad, man. I love the F-15. Jeff in Lower Alabama, Barry Campbell, Dennis Farley, good to see you. Airvexed RC, what is going on, my friend? Ken Sprouse. Oh man, Boss 223, Dexter Tucker. Hey, look at that. There's somebody from Wasilla, Alaska right now. That's awesome. Yep, I was only up there for 6 years. I can't say that I'm, you know, from Alaska, but I was up there for a good long time as a kid. And that's all I knew from a long time. JCB 67, Michael Statler, first flight in 1972, man. That is crazy. 48 years this plane has been in the air, and I'll tell you, still today, 48 years later, there are 5th gen adversary fighters that would be afraid to go up against an F-15, man. This thing is still a bad airplane, and it's not to be messed with. And they're revamping it, you know, so they're making I think it's the F-15EX or NX or something like that. I mean, they're revamping the avionics. They're putting better motors in it, and you know, extending the life of the F-15E airframes to make this thing an even bigger, badder airplane than it already is. Undefeated in air-to-air combat. It's an amazing plane. An amazing plane. You know, the history, the heritage, everything about the F-15. You know, this is what the U.S. Armed Forces needed at the time, you know, to really make that mark and put them on top, you know, because we all know, like, the F-4 was not the greatest fighter. But when the F-15 came out, I mean, this is the one that made the Russians and the Chinese and the Koreans. I mean, this is the airplane that made everybody take notice of U.S. aviation and realize that we were done messing around. You know, this is it. The F-15, still one of the baddest fighters on the earth today, and you know, looks to continue that legacy for quite some time. That's crazy, Shadow. That's crazy. Woo, 6 a.m. All right. So, I'm done gloating about the F-15, man. I love this plane. I love it. I love it. And I'm so happy to be the new owner of it. It's already Papa dotted and everything, man. I mean, it's just beautiful. This plane is beautiful. I can't wait to fly it, but I'm going to exercise some patience there so we don't put this thing in the ground. It needs to fly. It needs to fly well. Pilot Jerry, this is a 90 millimeter EDF Freewing, and the stock fan, which is what's in there right now, is a 1550 kV, kind of on the low side, 12 blade outrunner setup with a big metal housing. I mean, number one, this is a heavy plane. You know, there's no battery in it right now, and the thing sits on its front wheel, so that'll kind of give you an idea. This is a heavy plane. The outrunner unit that's in it is a big metal housing. It's heavy. It doesn't have a lot of RPM that it's spinning. It's a big, you know, it's a 12 blade, so it's somewhat efficient, and it will fly, but it's just kind of a dog, man. I've seen them fly on this stock setup, and I was never really impressed, which is why I never got one. But now with the 1900 kV 9-blade in-runner high-performance setup, I think that we're going to be able to get this thing in the air, and I think we're going to get our full 3-minute flight times, and I'm excited, you know, especially on, and I think I'll probably fly it on like a 5,000 battery. I think that it's heavy enough as is that flying it on a 6,000 is just adding unnecessary weight and, you know, needing to carry more RPMs is going to bleed off any extra flight time you would have got from that extra 1,000 milliamp hours, if that makes sense. All right. So, man, I know I can talk about this thing all day, but I do want to bring up a couple of things that are going to be happening over the next few weeks on the channel, which are exciting stuff. First off, next week, number one, next week, next Monday, it's December 7th, and we all know that December 7th is Pearl Harbor Day. So we're going to do a little special homage to the folks who lost their lives at Pearl Harbor, and then we're going to get right into the virtual fly-in. So the December edition of the virtual fly-in. Now we are going to do another competition this month. And as always, the competition prize is in a winner-take-all format. The competition for next week will be Rolling Harriers, and the prize, at least the prize right off the gate, is going to be a $25 gift certificate. And we may change it up this month. We may not do Horizon, but you know, for the last couple of months, it's been the Horizon Hobby. We may change it over to maybe BitGo or Motion. You know, we'll figure that out. But we are going to be starting off with a $25 gift certificate, and any contributions made via PayPal during next week's show will also get added to the prize that the winner gets at the end of the competition as decided by you. So make sure that you tune in next week either as a participant or as a judge, because the entire audience that's watching is going to be the judge of the contest and decide who wins the coveted prize at the end of the Rolling Harrier competition next week. So that should be a lot of fun. Make sure you tune in for that. Now, something else that's coming up is, if my calendar is correct, December 21st, and it won't be the 57th or the 52nd week in a row, as you guys know that have been watching us for a long time. You know, we did take a few weeks off over the summer for personal reasons, but so actually, like, this would be the 52nd show, but you know, we won't get into that. Our 52nd show, 1 year's worth of Air Marshal Mondays, is scheduled to happen on December 21st of this year. Now, it's a special event, not just because we are going to be doing our 52nd show, so a year worth of Air Marshal Mondays, which is just crazy to me. That is also Dennis Farley, that's right. So that's the special catch for next week. Because it's Pearl Harbor Day, the Rolling Harriers will be in U.S. Warbirds. U.S. Warbirds only. No 3D planes. Everybody will be doing the Rolling Harriers in U.S. Warbirds in honor of the U.S. Army Air Corps. If you want to do it in an Allied plane, that works too. No Japanese planes though, no Zeros. If you fly a Japanese plane, you're out, you're banned. No Japanese, no Germans, U.S. Warbirds only for next week's fly-in. So that should make it interesting and fun. I want to see who can do Rolling Harriers in U.S. Warbirds on Pearl Harbor Day. It should be a fun time. Shadow, that's awesome, man. All right. So December 21st, 1 year anniversary special. A couple more announcements. Obviously, we have experienced some tremendous growth in our first year on the channel, and Amy and I are just thrilled with how fast the channel's growing and how much the community has embraced us and helped us out over time. Oh no, Bobby. No, sir. But on December 21st, we are also looking to hit our 2,000 subscriber mark around the same time inside of our first year doing this RC stuff, and that's amazing, man. You know, we couldn't be more thrilled, humbled, excited to get to this point. The 2,000, I mean, that's a big milestone. 1,000's a big milestone, but to hit 2,000 inside of our first year is just amazing. And it wouldn't be without the help of the community, without the help of great companies like BitGo. So BitGo Bobby's in here, so you know, big hand to Bobby, to Jane, to Pilot Ryan, who's helped us out a ton, to Horizon Hobby, to all of the companies that have supported the channel, and to the community who's poured on the support. It's been an amazing, amazing ride, and we're ready to just keep charging and moving forward. Now, with that, on December 21st, we are going to be doing a 1-year anniversary / 2,000 subscriber giveaway. And I already know what one prize is going to be, so I'll go ahead and tell you now that myself and Horizon Hobby are teaming together to provide as a prize an upgrade system that you will be able to install into any airplane. It's going to include an AR630 receiver, an Aviation 60 amp ESC, as well as a Spectrum Smart 3200 milliamp hour 4S pack. So if you have a 3S or a 4S plane that you want to upgrade to smart technology, we're going to be providing everything that you need to upgrade that plane to smart technology. You just need a smart compatible Spectrum transmitter to do that. So that's going to be one of the many prizes, hopefully, and any other prizes. What I would like to do is, you know, if I'm going to put my email address in the chat here. For those of you that would like to make a prize available, you know, because a lot of times when we do these giveaways, the giveaways are happening less and less, right? Because a lot of times they're getting ruined. You know, we're still going to do it the same way we've always done it. It's going to be based on, you know, a wheel and a number system. And if you want to be in the giveaway, I need you to send me an email to rcairmarshal@gmail.com. I just put my email in there. If you want to be part of the giveaway, you have to include, send me an email, and in the email, just the subject is going to be giveaway, and in the body, put your YouTube name so I know who the email came from. And I'm going to assign each person a number. And when you win, you know, we're going to know who won. And I need you to send me an email back so we can verify that the email that you are sending to me when you win matches the email that you registered with. And that way, you know, people can't cheat the system. But the point is, people have been kind of cheating these giveaways. I don't like that. That makes me mad. So in order to kind of alleviate any of those issues, we're going to be doing a registration process. Shoot me an email to rcairmarshal@gmail.com, and we will get you registered for the giveaway. Now, Terry, you can still use the smart stuff with OpenTX. In fact, all of the telemetry data, if you're running OpenTX, what is it, 2.3.10 or later, all of the smart telemetry data, if you're running a multi-protocol module, will come in from the smart setup. So everything that you were getting from, you know, in a Spectrum radio, you will also see that it's like a Radio Master or a Jumper radio with the latest version of OpenTX, which is awesome. Ken Sprouse yes, subscribers need to send me an email. Anybody that wants to be, on the wheel for the giveaway, you need to send me an email and make sure that the subject reads giveaway, and in the body of the email, I need to have your YouTube name and your real name, so I know who won the prize, and we're gonna assign a number to each one of those folks and try to make that available where everybody can review it, that wants to sign up. We'll communicate more over the next coming weeks. Now, in addition to the contest, and the reason that I brought up, that we're going to make it where people can't really cheat the system, is if anybody wants to make a contribution to the giveaway, whether that is, a cash donation that will probably turn into a gift certificate of some type, or they want to donate some kind of prize to the giveaway, also shoot me an email to rcairmarshal@gmail.com. Let me know what you'd like to throw into the giveaway, and we can make that happen. As of right now, we don't have any airplanes or anything like that, but yeah, I know, right? We're going to get all kinds of, weird stuff, Bobby. So as of this moment, we don't have any airplanes to be giving away. Hopefully that'll change. Maybe we'll add some to it. Who knows? But all the giveaways that we've done in the past, folks have jumped on board to help out, and we've ended up doing a whole lot more than just the prize that we were giving away. So, like I said, right now, I am going to be giving away, at a minimum, an AR-630 receiver paired with an Aviation 60 amp ESC. Horizon Hobby has agreed to throw in a 4S 3200 milliamp hour 30C smart pack. So we're going to have a complete smart 4S upgrade system that you can install into whatever airplane you want. And that will be just, that will be the start of the prizes. Bobby, I have not. Yeah, send nudes. Great, thanks, Bobby. I have not flown it yet. I am going to wait to fly this baby until I have a the 1900 kV 9-blade in-runner high-performance setup. I'm going to be ordering one of those from Ocean RC. Hopefully we'll have that here in the next month or so. I gotta go earn some money so I can order that thing and get it for the F-15 and get that high performance oomph that this plane so desperately needs. And once we get that high performance fan in here, then we're gonna take it for a rock and drive and see what she can do. I think it's really gonna light it up for with that high performance fan in there. Awesome. So yes, if you want to be in the drawing on December 21st, make sure you send an email to rcairmarshal@gmail.com, and in the subject line it has to say giveaway, and in the body of the email write your YouTube name so I know who you are and I know where it came from. Guniac, what's up? Now, if you've already sent an email in the past, you don't need to send another one, because this is, everybody that has sent an email to that email address that has said, giveaway or contest or whatever it was that I had asked you to put in there before, you guys are already, registered for this giveaway and all future giveaways that we may do. Oh, Michael Stadler, we will absolutely have a fiery booty up in here. So, Craig Beaven, this one is going to be getting the new, well, I mean, it's not new anymore, but it is the 1900 kV in-runner from Freewing. It is a 1900 kV 9-blade in-runner EDF setup, and it's going to be awesome. You got to make Alyssa a pizza. All right, so we're going to get the F-15 out of the way, but I do want to make one more pretty cool announcement. On December 21st, the 1-year episode, guys, everybody knows, a bulk of the views on the channel, a bulk of the reason that I have so many subscribers, a huge draw to the channel has been the instructional series that I've done for both the AR-636 and the AR-637T receivers. And, to kind of celebrate that and share, just the support from Spectrum over this past year, we're going to have Tom Cogswell from Spectrum joining us as a guest on the show on December 21st. So that should be a lot of fun. We're going to have all the Spectrum brains are going to be in the house on December 21st, and it's going to be a good show. I can't wait to have Tom on the show because I got a ton of questions I'd love to ask him. And I hope that you guys will be there, not just for the contest, but also, for the interview that we're going to be doing with Tom and getting to know him a little better. Instead of us just talking about the geeky stuff that we always talk about, hopefully we can, we can cut up a little bit and talk about other stuff too, man, because there's certainly a lot more to this hobby than just receivers. There's also some pretty awesome radios. Right on, Ray. All right, now I'm going to move this bad dog F-15 out of the way because I wanted to talk about some other stuff tonight, not just this airplane, and not just our awesome 1-year show that's coming up here in the very near future. It is Gooniac. I love that F-15, man. And it's already got the Papa Dots. It's already got the Papa Dots. I'm so excited. Excuse me. Dang. Amy, tell Alyssa that was for her. Hey, what's up, Mickey B? Yeah, I can show you how I hang them up. So, on the back of the Avanti here, you may be able to see that I have a piece of string. If you can't see it, just that I have a piece of string there. That string is masonry line, like the line that that masons use when they're building, say, like a brick house, and they use this to border off, where they're going to be placing the bricks, and they just stretch the crap out of this stuff. So I mean, it can take a ton of load, as far as pulling on it, and I tie that around the landing gear. Now on planes where I can't get it around the landing gear, I'll make a complete circle, like a loop, and loop it around or fish it through, where I can get it hanging on the landing gear. And you know, I simply have it hanging from a picture hook, like a 25 or 30 pound picture hook on the wall. And it works really well. Yeah, nylon string. Maybe that's all it is called, Barry. And I actually got that idea from John Noon's RC. So if you check out John Noon's, which I can't remember the name of his channel right off the top of my head, I think it's called like Noon's something. Man, I can't remember. If anybody knows the name of John Noon's channel, can you put that in here? Because he did a video, man, probably about a year ago, talking about how to hang your airplanes like this. We're not going to put the dog on the table, Randy. We're not putting the dog on the table. And you are welcome, Michael Stadler. It is my pleasure to share that with everybody. No, this is a cutting mat. Just a big one. It's a big cutting mat. But that would be an awesome printer. I would love to have a 3D printer with a print bed this freaking big. But you could print like anything. Yeah, Noon's Airborne RC. It is something like that. So, that's coming. Now, we're going to get into like part 3 of the show. We talked about the F-15. We talked about the 1-year anniversary show. Part 3, we're going to be talking about everybody's favorite subject and getting back to what makes this channel great, and that is RC geeky stuff. Because everybody loves geeky RC things. So tonight, we are going to be doing everyone the awesome pleasure of talking about real dumb geeky things, and that is battery safety and why it matters. There we go. We got some UMX Dobermans. Yeah, the UMX Dobermans do make the channel. Yes. Batteries. All right. So, I know that we've talked about battery safety before, and I know that everybody thinks that they know all, but I just have to reiterate, man, because there are so many folks out there that I talk to on a regular basis, you know. And when we were doing like the Mary Boozer show a few weeks ago, or a couple of weeks ago, right after the show, I had a comment that was left on the stream that was like, I just had a battery explode. This is one of those subjects that it can't be talked about enough. And it's something that we're going to hit on this channel probably every 6 months. You know, not to undermine the, you know, the knowledge that people have, but just as a refresher, you know, to make sure that this is always a subject that's on the top of everybody's mind. Put the dog on the table. Did I get these batteries free to review? Uh-oh. So hold on a second. Mr. Wesley Miller's trying to call me. I'm going to let him get on the phone. Hello, Wesley Miller.
Is this Spectrum technical support?
This is Spectrum Tech Support. How can I help you?
Okay. That's who I was looking for.
Yes.
Hey, I'm having an issue with a S1100 charger.
You're having an issue with an S1100 charger. What is the issue you're having, sir?
So, right now, I have one of those hidden long tank batteries, and I'm trying to wake it back up, and I need to charge it on a NiCad. But I can't get the charger to start on NiCad.
Oh. You can't get it to start. So you know I'm doing my live show right now, and you are on the air.
No, I have no idea. I'm so sorry.
It's cool, dude. You're on the air.
Whoops. Whoops.
Every Monday at 8 o'clock, man. So no, we're gonna help you.
We're racing cars right now.
You're racing cars right now?
Yeah, we're at the slot car track.
Oh, come on, man.
Man, show everybody on your show.
Well, I can't. I guess we could do that.
Depending on what you're talking about. You should just not even answer me.
No way, man. I was like, hey, it's Wesley. Everybody knows that dork. And you're not going to be on the air.
So you guys see who I call whenever I need help.
That's right. So even though Wesley's got a wife who works at Spectrum customer support, he still calls me when he needs help with Spectrum stuff. Like, call your damn wife, man. She knows more about this stuff than I do. She can just get you a new one.
All right, dude. Call me when you're done or whatever. Enjoy your show.
All right, buddy. We'll see you.
All right, bye.
Yeah, bye now. Hey, it is Tony CCXRC. Hey, welcome to the show, man. Not sure if you've been in here before, but it is good to have you. If you haven't watched a lot of the content of our show in the past, we're mostly airplane related, but we do a lot of stuff with Spectrum. And today, we're going to be talking about battery safety again. Before, and that's funny that Wesley was calling about a problem with trying to refresh an old lithium pack using the NiCad settings. That's a bit of an advanced topic that we're not going to get into tonight. In fact, the whole point of what we're doing tonight is that I don't want you guys to ever have to worry about having to refresh a battery that is so bad discharged that you have to charge it on, say, the NiCad settings to get the thing back. Yeah, boost mode, exactly. You shouldn't have to do that. And, the whole point with a lot of the stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight is keeping those batteries in their optimal condition so you don't have to worry about that. So you always get the maximum performance and you're good to go. So, the first thing that we're going to be talking about is kind of the essentials of battery safety. The things that I think that everybody, these aren't things that are, that are like, I can't say that they're opinions anymore, man. They've been my opinion for so long now, and I've had so many people come back and say, man, that was the best thing I ever bought, that I have to come out and say, like, I think you need these elements for a good battery maintenance cycle, right? The number one thing, and it doesn't matter if you have a smart discharge or a smart checker or just a regular battery checker, everyone needs a cell checker. You need a cell checker. If you don't have a cell checker, get one today. Get one today, fools. What's up, Jeff Custom RC? Fred Barron, it is great to see you tonight. Yeah, Tony, for real, man, there are so many people out there that don't have a cell checker. Look, this thing costs this is an expensive one. This is the Spectrum XBC100. It's the smart checker. It does a lot more than just cell checking. It does cell checking. It does cell balancing. It allows you to change, the settings in, say, your Spectrum Smart Packs. It allows you to do servo testing. It allows you to use the battery to, say, charge your cell phone and things like that. There is a lot of advantages that are happening inside this little box. Now, this little box costs $40, but I'm here to tell you that by using the equipment that I'm telling you about today, you're going to be able to prolong the life of your batteries and extend the life of those batteries far beyond what you thought they were capable of. All right, so that's number one. Number one piece of equipment in any good battery maintenance regimen is a smart checker. Get you one today if you don't have one. Doesn't have to be a smart checker. Any cell checker will work, but get one. You have to know what your cells are doing. You have to be able to plug your batteries in and see where those cells are at. If your cells are too low, bring them back up. If your cells are too high, knock them down, right? You have to have a cell checker to be able to tell you that information. All right. The next thing that everybody needs, and again, it doesn't have to be a Spectrum charger, but you got to have an awesome balance charger. Do not cheap out. Do not cheap out on your charger. There are such great chargers available today that do an incredible job of charging batteries that there's no reason to skimp out on your battery charger anymore. Now, whether you are a fan of a DC charger, you know, so here I've got the Spectrum S2100 charger. This is a 2-port 100 amp or 100 watt per channel charger, or 200 watts to a single channel charger. So it can charge one battery up to 200 watts or two batteries at 100 watts each. I mean, it's AC powered, AC only, so you cannot do DC with the S2100. Awesome charger, right? This thing does a great job. It's $149. The Venom chargers that some folks had brought up earlier, you can get a 4-port 100 watt charger for around the same price. I think they're about 150, between 150 and $200. Very cost effective. Something else, one of the other really good chargers out there, the smaller Venoms. But for what we do, for flight batteries specifically, I think that if you have any aspirations of flying 4 or 6S planes ever, or cars for that matter, cars are even more susceptible to this, because I think that there's more people getting into 6S cars that aren't as well versed on the battery side of things as us airplane guys. And I don't know why that is, but a lot of the car guys, they stay in that 2S realm, especially your competition guys. A lot of the real heavy duty racers out there, those guys are running 2S, shorty packs, and 6S airplane would terrify me. And I'll tell you, Tony, the thing is that a lot of us airplane guys, I mean, we run 6S all the time. And for us, it's no big deal. But now we're getting car guys that are getting into big 6S and 8S setups that are not as well versed on battery safety as we are. So this applies to them too, right? So if any of you guys are seeing this and you know some car guys that could use this kind of knowledge, send them to the show, man. Whether they come tonight or they watch the replay, there's going to be some great information here for everybody. And this also applies to the drone guys, right? But if you are going to be charging, like high-end, say 5,000 milliamp hour or better, 4S packs, 5S packs, 6S packs, now you're looking at chargers that are going to exceed 100 watts in order to charge at 1C. Right, so without getting into the crazy math, a 100C charger can charge a 6S pack at somewhere around 4.4, 4.5 amps. It can't go any higher than that. It's a limitation of the charger, at 100 watts of output power. In order for you to get that full 1C charge rate, you're going to need a 200 watt charger. And if you want to go even further than that, say you have here, for example, this is a 4,000 milliamp hour pack. It is 6S, And I believe this has a maximum charge rate of 3S, right? Well, if I want to charge this at 3S, I'm going to be charging at 12 amps. And at roughly 4.5, that's going to take about 12, 8, 13, roughly 1300, well, not 1300. Would it be that much? No way. Yeah. It's going to want to be running at about 13 amps, 12 amps. Anyway, you guys get what I'm saying. So 4 amps would be 1S. You know, you get it. But anyway, to be able to pull that off, you can't do it with a 100-watt charger anymore. You need a minimum of a 300-watt charger to be able to pull off a 12 amp charge cycle. You know, so this guy, we're looking at a charger like this one here, which is a DC only. This is a Spectrum S-1500, single channel up to 500 watts. That's what we're going to need to be able to charge our big Spectrum, our big 6S packs at anything over, you know, like that 2C rating. Now, is that something that I recommend? Not really. You know, for the most part, I recommend that people charge their batteries at 1C, especially when they're charging it in the evening, the day before they go to the field. Charge at 1C. You know, don't get too crazy with it. Now, if you're at the field, say you've used up all your 6S packs and you want to fly again, and you don't want to wait for 2 hours for your battery to charge because all you have of it is a 50-watt charger, and you're trying to charge a 6S pack off a 50-watt charger, it's going to take 2 hours, right? So it's going to be 2 hours before you can fly your plane again. These are safe to charge up to 3C, right? Are you going to degrade performance over time doing that a lot? Probably, yes. But if you're only doing it, you know, once or twice every month or so, when you go to the field, you're not done flying yet, you want to fly again, you can bounce that puppy back up to full charge in about 20 minutes, but you're going to need a bad to the bone charger to pull it off. So like this 500-watt charger, this is what you're going to need. It's a big dog charger. You know, there's also, you know, the Spectrums are not the only good ones out there. ISDT makes some awesome chargers. Toolkit RC now has some really nice chargers for budget-conscious folks, but they are DC only. iCharger makes fantastic packs. Sky RC makes a DC charger that I think is either 2 or 4 channel, 400 watts per channel. I mean, there are some really good chargers out there that are the performance of those chargers is gonna blow your mind if all you've been using is the real budget-conscious 50-watt chargers up to this point. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. They're great for beginners, but as you advance through the hobby and you get to, you know, better stuff, more power, 4S, 6S, multiple batteries, multiple outputs, you're gonna want more charge power. You're gonna need more amps. You're gonna need more wattage. You're gonna need more of everything. You need more. Bang good. Yes. So, you know, I take advantage of something called parallel charging. I know it's not for everybody. People kind of get all upset and bent out of shape when I start talking about parallel charging, so I'm not going to really talk about that tonight. But, you know, understand that, you know, when you're talking about 6S batteries and you start talking anything over 1C charge rates, you're going to run out of room real quick on 50 watt and 100 watt chargers. If you want to charge 6S packs, you need at least 200 watts per channel to really start getting into that 1C territory. 4,000 you're going to be fine. You will never reach 1C on a 5,000 pack on anything less than a 200 watt charger. If you want to start charging into the 2C, even 1.5C, where you're talking 7.5 amps, not only does your charger need to be able to support the power output measured in watts, but it also needs to be able to handle that current. So when you start talking about 6S at 1.5C, say a 5,000 pack, now you're looking at 7.5 amps, and you're barely going to reach that on a 200 amp charger. If you want 2C, you're not going to reach it, right? So that's something to think about, right? When you're looking at these chargers and deciding what's going to work for you, do you have a lot of 6S packs? Do you need multiple channels? Are you going to be okay with a single channel? What can you do with what? And when I start talking about like the 1C charge rates, this S1500, I can parallel charge 4 5,000 milliamp hour 6S packs at 1C off of this charger. And it's only because I'm comfortable with it. I know how to set up parallel charging. I know the order that things need to be set up in, and all of that is very important. But I can do that with this one charger. And that's where, like those big dog, like the iChargers, like the iCharger Duo 4010, that thing is a beast. 40 amps of output at 1,000 watts per channel. That thing is not made to charge your 6S pack at 6C. It's made for parallel charging. A lot of it. Yes, exactly, George Watts. Whatever the best thing is that you can afford. Now, back here, some folks have mentioned the Meanwell power supplies. If you're running a DC charger, the same thing applies. Number one, you want to try to run that DC charger at the highest input voltage that the charger can accept. And the reason for that is the higher input voltage you send in, the more efficient that it uses that power, the more efficiency it has when using that power to charge the battery on the other end. In fact, a lot of these DC-only chargers cannot reach their full charge capacity unless you're running them at, say, 24 to 48 volts input power. So you're going to be running 24 volts DC or 48 volts DC in order for it to be able to achieve the advertised numbers on the spec sheets. So keep that in mind as well when you're shopping high-power DC chargers, that the power supply is just as important as the charger. Now, in this particular charger, this can handle up to 30 volts input voltage, right? And the 30 volts, it doesn't need it, but like I said, the closer you can get to the maximum input voltage, the more efficient the power supply feeding the charger is going to be, right? Because at higher voltage, we can run the power supply at a lower current level to be able to achieve the same number or the same power or wattage going into the charger, which ultimately all those numbers kind of play into things, right? So the higher voltage I can run in means less heat soak and more efficiency on the power supply end, right? 12 volts, I'm going to need a lot more wattage and a lot more current to keep the charger being able to do what it's advertised to do. And like I said, a lot of these chargers can't achieve their peak numbers unless you're sticking them on like a 24 to 48 volt power supply. So again, keep that in mind. Proper cooling, like Jeff is saying right now, proper cooling is paramount, especially when you're talking DC power supplies. You got to keep these power supplies cool. You got to keep the batteries cool. You got to keep the chargers cool. All of your modern chargers are going to come with heat dissipation built in. This charger, the Spectrum S1500, has a nice fan on the back. The S2100 has 2 fans on the back. And the reason that we're not, going to do a demo tonight is because these things get loud, man. They sound like a jet about to take off. This Spectrum Smart Power Supply, 30 amp power supply, 580 watt output, up to 18 volts of output power, right? So, not a beast of a power supply, but it's plenty enough to run this S1500. And, it's got multiple outputs, so I can actually run an S1500 and an S1200 and be charging 2, 3, 4 batteries off the S1500 and maybe a couple of more off the S1200 all at the same time. And I haven't had any problems out of it. This thing has been a trooper. But this guy, it's got 2 fans on either side. And it's been a beast of a power supply. So I really like that. Now, the next piece of the puzzle that we're going to talk about, and some people are going to disagree, and some people, yeah, that smart case that Jeff built for Cody Adair, you gotta check that thing out, man. that case is awesome. So George Watts brings up a great point. If you're ever cutting the lead off of a battery pack, ever, cut the leads off 1 wire at a time. So first, clip your positive lead, and then clip your negative lead, and then throw it in your saltwater bath or your sand pit or your disposal or whatever you're doing with that battery for whatever reason that you cut the thing off. Never ever take your battery and put your snippers across both wires and cut them both at the same time, because you will short your battery out and you will create heat and fire and bad things. You will let the smoke out. Yeah, cut them at different lengths too, Mickey B. That's also a good point. You will let the smoke out of a battery very quick. And let me tell you, it does not take any time. It takes no time at all. Less than a second for you to start a thermal runaway event of a battery. If you short out those leads, you will create a thermal runaway event. It takes a fraction of a second. One single short, you're going to create a thermal runaway event, and this battery is either going to catch on fire or explode. These are volatile, terrible, terrible things, right? If you respect them, they are very safe. They are very safe. But you can turn them into a bomb. I said it. You can turn them into a bomb by mistreating them. Yeah, it does smell bad. That's right, Jeff's Customer. See, you can't say that on an airplane. And if you're on an airplane right now and you're watching YouTube and someone just heard me say bomb, there's no bomb on the airplane. Sorry. Sorry, flight person, flight attendant. There's no bomb on the airplane. That's me on YouTube. I said that. Yep, driving nails into them. I mean, there's a lot of ways to dispose of these things and get them fully discharged, but we're not talking about that tonight. We're talking about prolonging the life of your lipos, not ending the life of your lipo. Lipo bags and ammo boxes. So, Jeff, with that in mind, I'm going to go grab my ammo box real quick. And like Just Custom RC was saying, I also have, you know, LiPo charge packs. I don't have them sitting here in front of me, but those LiPo safe charge packs, those things are great. Are they going to stop a fire? No. Are they going to prevent a fire from spreading and burning your house down? Absolutely, yes. Yes, they will. Now, yeah, anytime I move, the dogs go crazy. So, this ammo box is a, oh, I don't remember. I think it's a, who knows what it is. I think it says somewhere. M2A1, whatever. They're available at Harbor Freight. You can buy it for like $9, $10, something like that. If you get them on sale, you can get them even cheaper. So, these ammo boxes, they're awesome for transporting batteries. But there's something that you need to do. Right? Now, a lot of people will tell you you have to remove the gasket from the lid. Not necessarily true. You don't need to remove the entire gasket. But inside the lid, there is a gasket that goes around the entire perimeter of the lid, right? A very thick gasket. And if you leave that gasket as one piece, when you close that, it seals that box. If these batteries start going off, there's nowhere for them to vent to. What have you made? You've made yourself a pressure cooker. And this thing could easily turn into, again, I'm going to say it, a shrapnel bomb. It could turn into a bomb. So, Dennis Farley, I do not drill holes in them. Right? So what I do, and you know, anybody can do this, it's very easy. What I do to vent these boxes off, and I still get a nice, you know, positive locking. So, you know, I'll put the lid back on here. I still get that nice positive locking action. It locks up, it's nice and tight. It's not all loosey-goosey and falling off. What I do is I take the gasket out, and you're going to see this because the gasket has some portion of it removed. But typically this gasket would be a solid rectangle. What I do is I cut a section out of that gasket about 2 inches on each side, right in the center of the gasket. I'll cut them out, you know, and I just take a hobby knife, slice it, and that way I still get a nice closing action, but it no longer seals. And up around the top, I am able to vent out any bad things, and the gasket will just pop right back in after you're done cutting it. The gasket will pop right back into the lid, and your ammo box is now safe for battery storage. And right here on either side, I've got a section of that gasket removed, which will allow the gases to vent out and maintain some level of safety. Now, the truth is, you know, if you've got a bunch of batteries in there and one goes up, you're going to lose all of them. But it's better than losing your whole house, right? And trust me, I have seen cases where a LiPo fire has burnt down people's houses, burnt down their garage, burnt up all of the things that they, you know, I won't say all the things that they cared about, but caused a lot of damage. So invest in good battery storage. There's also some great bat safe cases. They have little bats on them that are available at Banggood. They're available from Race Day Quads. They're available from any of the quad shops. They're available at Motion RC now. I think you can get them on Amazon. Those boxes are as good or better than the ammo boxes. So there's a lot of battery storage out there, and I highly recommend taking advantage of it, right? So that's kind of the next element of battery safety. Now, this last component that I'm going to talk about, this one is up for some debate. And remember when I had mentioned, you know, some people think they don't need it. Well, but everyone that I've talked to that gets one, they're like, man, I should have listened. I should have got this a year and a half ago when you first put it on your channel. However long ago it was, before I really started going deep into the YouTube stuff, I put a review of this device on there. And what this is the ISDT FD200 discharger. It is a dedicated discharger. Some people, you know, are like, well, I just use my charger to do my discharging. But do you? Do you really? Hey, yeah, Roach Coach Hellies, I do have your sticker up here on the top of the ammo box. I've also got the Merry Boozers. I've even got my own. So, I think when most people, they say, I discharge my batteries, right? I don't think you do. I think you're lying to us. I think you're telling us that because you want us to get that warm fuzzy inside and you want us to feel good, you know, and say, oh yeah, you know, discharging your batteries back to storage voltage is a great idea and you should do that every time. Which is one of the reasons why the Spectrum Smart Packs are so good, right? They cost a little more money. They may not be the best batteries on the market, but they do one thing better than any other battery out there, and that is when they have reached their auto storage timer, they automatically drop themselves back down to a storage voltage and keep this battery nice and safe, and it's not going to be losing any life, right? And, you know, is keeping a battery at storage voltage any more or less safe? No, not really. Now we're talking about maintenance, not necessarily battery safety. We're talking about maintenance, right? You don't want to leave a LiPo battery charged for too long. Once you get it charged up, the chemicals, and the reason that it's able to push out power is because the chemical reactions are generating electricity. They're generating electricity. Like that chemical reaction, if it's enough to start a car on something this size, just imagine what's going on inside there. There is a chemical reaction happening inside these batteries that is very volatile, right? At 3.8 volts, the reaction is at its most stable state, right? If we get it below 3 volts, it effectively kills the battery, almost to a state of unrecoverability. We can't get them back. Now, some people, you know, have we been in cases where we can recover a battery if it goes below 3 volts? Sure, I've seen it. Do I recommend it? Not really. But these batteries, if you charge your packs and you don't fly them, and Jeff, I saw, you know, you were saying that you discharge your packs by flying them. Man, I get it. I get it. And most of us do. But we've all had those days where we either charge up a bunch of packs and then we go to the field the next day, and for whatever reason, we're not able to fly all our packs, so we come home with like 3 or 4 packs that we didn't use. And who really, if you're being honest with all of us, who really gets out those 4 packs, starts checking all your packs to make sure that your packs are sitting at a storage voltage? Who really does that? You know, here's why it's important. At 4.2 volts per cell, the battery is at its peak power level, or its peak voltage, right? Everything left is potential energy stored inside this battery. At its highest voltage level, the chemical reaction is degrading the battery and increasing the internal resistance of the pack. It's very minute. Some people may not notice right away, but over time, if that is a practice that you do regularly, you charge the packs and you leave them charged until the next time you go to the field, which might be 2 weeks from now, might be 2 months from now, and especially right now during these times of the year when we're talking Christmas and cold, this is the time that you need to be thinking about the stuff that I'm telling you right now. You need to be putting your batteries in a storage charge, right? Some people stay in storage mode. That never made a lot of sense to me. It's not like there's a switch on the battery where I can change it from like storage mode to not storage mode. Storage mode just means 3.8 volts per cell. Some people say 3.7. If you're sitting in that 3.7 to 3.8 volts, you're good. That's a good, nice, stable storage voltage where you're not going to be degrading and increasing the internal resistance. Now, why is that important? As the internal resistance increases, the effective capacity of the battery drops dramatically. You know, so where you may have a brand new pack with an internal resistance of, say, 2 to 5 mega ohms per cell. If you were to leave this fully charged, you know, over a several month period, number one, you're going to start to see some physical changes in the pack. That's especially now, and that's not so much at leaving it fully charged, but, you know, discharging, you know, starting to cycle a pack that's got a high internal resistance. The battery's going to run hotter because the higher resistance levels are going to make the battery run hotter. You're trying to pull a whole lot of power through a high resistive state, and it's going to increase the heat, which is going to create more problems with that chemical reaction. And as the cells drop under, you know, ever so slightly, you start dropping those cells with voltage sag under that 3 volt limit, and then they pop back up. You're going to start seeing these things start to puff up like a balloon, right? We've all seen it. We've all seen puffy cells. The things that I'm telling you right now, you know, with regard to making sure that you're doing a good maintenance cycle. So checking your cells regularly, making sure that all of your batteries that you took to the field are fully, are in a storage mode. Storage voltage, right? I hate that storage mode. That's so stupid. Make sure that your packs are sitting in storage at a storage voltage, right? Using good quality chargers to always balance charge your cells. I see some people that charge their batteries and they don't do a balance charge, and I just don't understand it. Like, why would you not do a balance charge? The extra 5 minutes is so much more healthy for the battery. As you know, when you charge a battery up and you have all the cells balanced, as you pull the voltage out, right, as you start to discharge that battery, for the most part, they're all going to, you know, come down evenly. But you may have some that are uneven. So when you start charging this back up, it's not like they're all going to come back up and get even again. You know, you charge it back up and you may have one cell that gets overcharged because it wants to bring the entire battery. So in the case of this, I think that the full, what is this, 15.6, something like that, when you're at a full charge on a 4S pack. This is a 4S 4000 pack. It's just going to get the voltage where it needs to be, right? So that may mean bringing one cell up to like 4.26, and this one's at 4.18, and another one's at 4.14. You know, you can have some weird balance issues. It's going to drive all of them up. It's going to drive all of them up at the same time, and you're going to end up damaging your pack by not doing balance charges. Now, when you're at the field, you need a quick charge. Maybe you want to save 5-10 minutes. Fine, do what you want. But if you balance charge every time, you can never go wrong. What the hell? What the hell's a full beaver moon? All right, so balance charge every time. So we've got our cell checker, we've got our battery chargers. You know, we want to do balance charging every time. And we've also got this discharger. Now that's where the Spectrum packs, you know, but if you've got, say, I mean, we've got, there's a couple of Gens Ace packs here. We've got a couple of China Hobby Line black packs here. These are awesome. These Gens Ace packs are really good. But do they kind of perform their own maintenance cycle like the Spectrums? No, they don't. These are the batteries that most people have. I have to assume that most people aren't running these Spectrum Smart Packs. Most people think they're gimmicky, whatever the case may be. Most people may still think they're getting better performance out of their roaring tops, out of their, you know, whatever battery they're running. They may have the HRBs because they want to, you know, to still have that value proposition of buying those HRBs. These HRBs are not going to auto store themselves. You know, these Gens Ace batteries are not going to go into auto storage. These China Hobby Line batteries, as awesome as they are not going to go into auto storage, and that's where this thing is absolutely critical in everyone's RC toolbox. They are cheap. They're, I mean, for the amount that you pay for this, you can prolong the life of your batteries by years, and I am not exaggerating, years of life out of a LiPo. You know, instead of replacing them every season, you know, where you may have left a couple of your batteries charged for the whole freaking winter, and then 4, 5, 6 months later, you take the fully charged battery, and the next time you use it, you can only run for like a minute and a half before the thing is sitting at LVC, or you end up losing a plane. So imagine, you know, you put this whatever battery, you take this 4S 2200 Gens Ace battery, and you stick it in your turbo temper, and because you abused the shit out of the battery and you took it up and you didn't take care of it, now this battery has 30 mega ohms of internal resistance per cell, and you only get a minute of flight time, even though it looked like you plugged it into your voltage checker and it said 4.20 volts per cell. That does not mean anything if you've got 30 mega ohms of internal resistance. So you get about a minute of flight time, and then your plane goes nose dirt into the ground, right? So take care of your batteries, guys. Take care of your batteries. This $80 investment, if this can save your $300 airplane, it is worth every stinking penny. They have a smaller version. This is 200 watts. They have a smaller version that's about 100 watts. It's available on Horizon Hobby. It's like 40 bucks or something. You can get them on Banggood. You can get them on Amazon. There's so many places to get these. These ISDT chargers will extend the life of your batteries and make it where you can go forever. Now, the reason that I like running these, and some people say like, oh, I discharge my, you know, if I couldn't fly my plane, I discharge my batteries on my charger. Here's the problem with that. Most chargers can only discharge your battery at about a 5 watt to 10 watt dissipation rate, right? Which means that you're going to be discharging that battery potentially for hours, not an hour, hours plural, to get it to a storage voltage. With this guy, I can knock a 6000 6S battery down to storage voltage from a full charge to a storage voltage at 200 watts, 25 amp discharge rate. I can knock that thing down to storage voltage in about 20 minutes. The amount of time that you save by using a dedicated discharger, and I don't have to occupy my charger to do it. It doesn't have to be plugged into the wall. It's just a brick. You plug your battery in, you tell it to start discharging, and you just go. It works phenomenal, and I think that everybody needs one of these in their toolbox. You know, everybody says they discharge their batteries. I'm not calling you a liar specifically, but you're probably a liar if you say you discharge your batteries every time. I know way too many people that I've talked to that, you know, will say like, yeah, man, I don't discharge my batteries. I leave them, you know, maybe the people that watch these shows, maybe those folks are the ones who do discharge their batteries. Maybe we're the right ones. But for the folks that you're negligent, all you gotta do is plug your battery in. Go. 10 minutes later, it's done. You're done for the whole summer, for the whole winter. All right. So let me get to the questions. How long do you set your smarts to start discharging? My smart batteries I set to go into auto storage at 48 hours. No, Jeff, I'm not pointing the finger at you, man. You know that. And I'm not pointing the finger at anybody in particular, but we all know people. We all know people that say, oh yeah, I do those best practices. I do that. I discharge my batteries every time. Man, we know people that say it that aren't telling us the truth. The truth be told, they charged 6 packs, they only flew 5, and that 1 pack has been sitting in that box, fully charged, for like the last 6 weeks. Dexter Tucker, this is the ISDT, so that's the brand, ISDT FD200. It's about $80 on Amazon. I don't have Amazon links. So if you want to support somebody, you can go to Pilot Ryan, PilotRyanMedia.com. You can click on his Amazon links. Get you one from Amazon. I think they're about $80. You can get them from Banggood if you want to wait, but they're about $80 from Banggood too. There's really no point in getting them from Banggood when I can get it, you know, much quicker. There is, I think it's an FD100 that you can get from Horizon if you want to support the channel. And you want to get a 100 watt discharger instead of a 200 watt discharger, you can get those from Horizon Hobby. Just look up ISDT discharger, and you can find it on Horizon Hobby. Click my link in the description of this video right now, or any of my videos. Click the link in the description, go to Horizon, look for ISDT discharger. You're probably going to find the smaller version of this discharger, and it works just as well. It just takes twice as long, right? And twice as long is still much shorter than it takes to do it with, you know, with something like this, where you're only, you know, doing like 10 watts. At a 10 watt discharge rate, even the 100 watt dedicated discharger will discharge 10 times faster than a charger trying to bring a battery down to storage voltage. This thing is 20 times faster. And, you know, here's another misconception that I hear all the time, right? That I want to dispel the rumor today. When you are discharging your battery, I've heard some people that are like, oh, I don't want to discharge that fast. I don't want to discharge more than 1C. You know, you can hurt it, whatever. I don't want to discharge more than 4 amps. Bollocks. That is BS. When you put a 6S battery in your airplane, what is the rating of the ESC on your airplane? You discharge this damn thing at 3 minutes a cycle. You can discharge this thing at like a lot, but man, what is this? This is a 50C pack. 50C, 400 milliamp hours. you guys know what that means, right? That I can discharge this at up to 200 amps. 200 amps. So if I discharge this at 25 amps, am I going to hurt it? Hell no, I'm not going to hurt it. Don't believe that crap. You can discharge at a lot more than 1C. A lot more. Yeah, the charger, you don't want to charge at more than like 1C, 1.5C for safe, you know, to keep that battery nice and charged up. But when you're discharging the pack, man, you can discharge the crap out of these things. You can discharge the crap out of them. Joseph Youngblood, awesome. Awesome. All right, now here's a couple of other things that need to be said about batteries and battery safety, especially as we start getting into the colder months, right? Most electronics work well when they are running cooler. The batteries, these are not your friends when they are cold. When they are cold, they do not run worth a crap. So when you are taking your batteries to the field during the winter months, right, where it starts to get freaking frigid outside, you know, these guys like to be at room temperature. I want to charge them at room temperature. I want to charge them at home. I want to get all of them charged up before I go to the field. I want to charge them safely at my house. I want them to stay warm before I fly. You know, so if it's 72 degrees in your house, I want to keep them at 72 degrees, right? And then right before I stick them in the airplane, pull them out of whatever I've got them insulated in, plug it in, and fly that plane. And the plane, the ESC being really cold, that's awesome. The motor being really cold, that's awesome. The battery being really cold, you're going to crash your plane. So, that's your other tip from Dave. Keep these insulated. Don't let them get down to, you know, to 20, 30 degrees. Don't let them get down to 10 degrees. If you're going out and you're flying in the cold, you need to keep these batteries insulated. You need to keep them right around room temperature. You're going to get much better performance out of your battery. The flight times are going to go way, way, way down the colder the battery gets. Yeah, put them between your legs before flying. If you want to try to use it, yeah, a soft-sided cooler with your batteries and bags, that is a good idea. And look, you can use the same thing because you also don't want them to get too hot. Too hot's not quite as bad as too cold, but I mean, because they heat up as you use them anyway, right? I mean, I've had times when I've pulled these things off, you know, out of an airplane where they've easily been over 100 degrees. Just because the batteries inherently heat up as we discharge them. And the higher the internal resistance is, the hotter they're going to get, the more they're going to balloon. You know, and that's where you're really going to see, you know, kind of that ballooning take effect, you know, of them puffing up. And is when you're running them really hot in the summer, that puffiness is going to start happening. You know, of all the packs that I've had, I've only had one pack ever puff up on me, and that is E-Flight. The old school, and one pack brand, I mean, not just one pack. Every pack that I've had that said E-Flight on it, they puffed up quick. My smart batteries are all still like bricks, not puffy at all. The Genzace batteries, like bricks. The China Hobby Line batteries, all perfect. I've got Florian batteries from Amazon. I've got HRB batteries that I got from Amazon. I've got, you know, I've got all kinds of stuff that I bought from different sources over the years. All those batteries by using proper maintenance cycles, will stay in perfect shape all the time. Just take care of them. These lipos need to be respected. Understand what you're working with, understand how to take care of them, and you can extend the life of these batteries. I've still got batteries that I've been using for 5 years, that have just as much oomph today as they did the day that I bought them, all through proper maintenance cycles and just taking care of your batteries and treating them right. Yeah, the E-flite batteries suck. Dexter Tucker, perfect example of what I was saying. When I flew my air tractor at 25 degrees Fahrenheit on Thanksgiving Day, my smart batteries gave me a minute less flying time than when I fly above 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And Dexter, I would venture to say, unless you did this, that had you kept that battery at the same temperature, that you charged it at, if you kept it at, say, 75 degrees before you put it in the airplane, you put it in the airplane and you take off right away, and allow, because the discharge cycle is going to keep the heat on that battery. The battery is going to continue to generate heat, right? So it's not going to freeze. And as the battery generates heat through the discharge cycle, it's going to keep it from freezing. If you had kept that battery at around that 75 degree mark, I think that you'd have gotten a lot better flight times. Oh, interesting. Augard, it's my pleasure. Thanks for stopping by tonight. I do appreciate it. Hey, if you're flying small drones inside, the battery temperature's probably not going to be affected too much by that, huh? Michael Statler, it is my pleasure. Hopefully, all the stuff that I am telling you guys, if it's stuff that you know already, it's always worth repeating. If any time that one of these YouTube guys is on here talking about either battery safety or field safety, never give them a hard time, guys. This is the stuff that is vital to this hobby. This is what keeps us a step ahead of the regulators, is making sure that we reiterate these safety points on a periodic basis, right? Let's stay ahead of these people that are doing things the wrong way, or that expect us to be doing things the wrong way. If we can stay ahead of them and we can do things safely, then we don't have to worry about them coming after us for lighting our houses on fire with a LiPo battery, right? We don't have to worry about, these guys coming after us for wrecking a plane because a LiPo went bad or whatever. So anyway, when we're talking about this stuff, if you know it already, and like Ray and Jeff and so many of you guys tonight have been contributing to the conversation in the chat, I appreciate that so much. Because you guys get it, you understand. But for the folks that are new to the hobby that don't have as much knowledge as we do, you can never put this information out often enough. I think that any time that we're giving this information out, that this is the gold of RC. Is it fun to fly jets? Is it fun to do whatever? Yes, but this stuff that we're talking about tonight applies to every discipline of RC that uses LiPo packs, nickel metal hydride packs, nickel cadmium packs way back in the day. lithium ion batteries. Battery safety applies to so many different things, you know, in our hobby and out. So I am a big believer in preaching battery safety on a regular basis, and you'll see it again sometime within the next 6 months. You know, I'll just randomly decide, like, hey, it's time to talk about batteries again. And all this exact same stuff that you heard me say tonight, you're going to hear again, like right before the summer. So it's coming. Just be ready. Yeah, exactly, Jeff. You know, we have to keep it at the top of our minds. We have to keep it right there in the front. Complacency kills people. Complacency kills hobbies. Complacency kills jobs. Complacency kills people. So staying vigilant, staying at the top of your safety game is what makes it's going to make all of us better pilots through the advocacy of battery safety, and it's going to make our equipment last longer. It's going to give us better performance. You know, there are so many benefits that come with good battery safety and good battery maintenance that it's worth saying over and over and over again. The firmware update on the S2100, I talked to Dexter Tucker. I've heard of cycling new batteries before. I've personally never done it, but I have heard from people who do that it makes a difference. You know, kind of a break-in. Charge them and discharge them, say 5 to 10 times. And you're going to get, you know, a little better performance. I've personally never done that, but it may be worth an experiment. Anyway, the firmware update for the smart chargers. So your S2100, your S1500, your S1200, all of the smart chargers that have the displays are going to get the S1100 style firmware. My resource tells me that we're going to be seeing that anytime. So it could be as early as this week that we see that update hit the Spectrum website. So keep your eye out for it. When it comes out, I will do a post on the YouTube channel. So make sure you have those notifications turned on so you see when I post the stuff. I'll also put that on Facebook. I'll put it on Twitter. I'll put it on Instagram. When those firmware updates come out for the 2100, the 1500, and the 1200, I'll make sure to spread the word through my social channels. And if you're watching Spectrum stuff, I'm sure they're going to be talking about it as well. So Joe Pellegrino, I think that a lot of the folks that are now, because listen, I do too much with too much stuff to go full Spectrum. Spectrum doesn't make a smart pack for every application out there. They don't really make smart packs that work well in drones, for example. That's where I use these China Hobby line. Spectrum doesn't make a 1300 6S pack, you know, but these China Hobby line 1300 milliamp hour 100C black packs, these things are badass in 6S drones. So, you know, I can't go full Spectrum. These Gen Ace batteries, you know, there's batteries that I have that, I mean, if they're still working, why not use them? so these 3S and 4S packs that I've got, you know, I still fly my Bigfoot. I still fly my my 64 millimeter E-Flight jets on non-smart packs. I have smart packs that I fly with them too. My Dynam C-47 uses 3S packs. Do I use smart packs in it? Yes. You know, but this pack also works great in there. So, you know, I've got too much stuff, you know, to fully just throw everything away. That'd be silly. So I've got a good, you know, mix of Spectrum smart stuff and non-smart stuff. Now, all of my chargers, I have shifted over to the smart chargers. I know there's some folks that love them and some folks that hate them. I've had real good luck with them. Are they the greatest chargers on the planet? No, but they work really well. So I think that they're good. The Spectrum Smart Checker, I've had really good luck with. This is probably, you know, as far as tools in my toolbox, outside of my screwdrivers, you know, like this little kit right here and this little guy are probably the two things. Wait, I'm not putting the dog on the table, Randy. Fine. Come here, dog. Come here. She was sleeping and now she's mad. I'm not going to put her on the table. She'll freak out. Thank you, Jeff. And yes, we will all be at Flight Club tomorrow night. Hey, make sure you hit that like button, guys. Hit that like button. We are coming towards the end of the show. I want to make sure that everybody, make sure you tune into Gooniac's show just after our show here tonight. If you've got some extra time, if you can stay up, Gooniac always puts on a good show, and he does a lot of good educational stuff, just like we do. So make sure you tune in for Gooniac's show. Uh-oh, I dropped it. I'll probably never be able to use it again. I probably just broke it. But anyway, the two things that I use more than anything in my toolbox, right? I've got a big old bag of crap that I take to the field all the time. Big old Hercules bag. Got it at Harbor Freight. Like 15 bucks. Awesome. Anyway, I've got all kinds of crap in there, because you never know when you're going to need whatever. But this smart checker and this little envelope thing, this little pouch that comes with a screwdriver handle and a bunch of dual-sided you know, hex drivers and screwdrivers, you know, whether they're flat head or Phillips head. It has some nut drivers. It's got a little spanner wrench. These are the things that I use more than anything. And I probably do 90% of what I do in RC. The tools I use are these two things right here. And a pair of wire cutters. See? It's the stuff that I already have out of the bag. So my wire cutters, my screwdriver set, nut driver, hex driver, everything all in one bag, and my smart checker. I use those things all the time. You didn't see the dog? I had the dog. All right, we got like 5 more minutes. I'm not showing you any white smoke. That's a terrible idea. Come on. Come here. Come here. Come here, your mommy wants to see you. Come here. Come here, fatty. All right. Can you see her? I've still got the dog. Thanks, Barry Campbell. Apparently people think these pajamas are just as famous as me. Oh, yeah. All right, and let me get UMX dog number 2. Here's UMX dog number 2, Old Man Rusty. I just had her. Come here. All right, do you see her? All right, anyway, guys, I gotta get rolling. It is getting towards the end of the show. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and hanging out with us tonight, talking F-15s, talking batteries, and talking about our 1-year anniversary show that is coming up in a few weeks on December 21st. We're gonna have the 1-year anniversary / 2,000 subscriber contest anniversary especial, where we have special guest Tom Cogswell coming to join us from the Spectrum team at Horizon Hobby, which will be cool. We are going to have a contest where we are going to be giving away an AR630 receiver along with an Aviation 60 amp ESC and a here comes the cat, he's about to jump up here, and a Spectrum Smart 4S 3200 battery. The battery is courtesy of Horizon Hobby. The AR630 and the Aviation 60 amp ESC are courtesy of the RC Air Marshal, myself, and my wife. We are going to be giving those away on December 21st. And if you guys want to enter the giveaway, make sure you send an email. I'm going to put my email here below. So make sure that you send an email to me at rcairmarshal@gmail.com. In the subject, I want you to put giveaway, and in the body, I want you to put your YouTube name so I know your email address, the YouTube name that it's associated with, and that you want to enter the giveaway. All right, if you are not registered, if you have not sent me an email, you will not be eligible to win. Your name's not going to be on the wheel. Right? The only people whose names are going on the wheel to win on the 21st are the people who send me an email, right? We don't want to have the problems that we had back on Ryan's show when he hit 10,000 subs. We're not going to be playing a bunch of games, especially with the Horizon guys in the house. We don't want to do that again, right? So that's cool. If the email says bite me, whatever. You can send me emails with your dirty pics, but if you want to enter the contest, make sure that the subject says giveaway. What else do I want to say? Yeah, that's it. Also, if you want to contribute anything towards the giveaway that's going to be happening on December 21st, make sure to let me know. That is the Monday before Christmas. Make sure to let me know. Send an email to the same email address if you want to provide any additional giveaway items, gift certificates, donations that we can use to buy other prizes, whatever. If you want, leave me an email so we can make sure that we know who's contributing whatever, because what I don't want is a bunch of people jumping in on the night of the giveaway like, hey, throw in another gift certificate, throw in this. That just confuses everything, and we only have a limited amount of time to work with. Now that we only have like 2 hours and we have to cut it off because Ray starts at 15 minutes after we go off, I don't have a lot of time to go over with people adding stuff during the show. So I want to have everything lined up and know what we're giving away right at the beginning of the show so we can just start going. We've got 2 hours to get it all done. So also next week, make sure that you, I don't care, George Watts. That email is only for this channel. I don't care who has it. If I get spam, I get spam. All right, so it's 10 o'clock. Also, next week, guys, December 7th, we're going to be remembering Pearl Harbor, and then we're going to get right into the fly-in. Next week's fly-in is Rolling Harriers. That is the competition. And in honor of Pearl Harbor Day, you must fly your Rolling Harriers in a U.S. Warbird. You heard it right. A U.S. Warbird, World War II era. So whether that is a P-51, a P-47, whatever you can get your hands on, it must be a World War II era Warbird, propeller driven, that we are going to use to do Rolling Harriers next week on Pearl Harbor Day. The winner of the contest wins, at a minimum, a $25 gift certificate from the RC Air Marshal. We will see you guys next week. Everybody have a great night. It has been a pleasure hosting you again for episode 49. And we will see you on Monday. Y'all have a great night.